Today we're gonna continue our story, the gingerbread man story. We're gonna read, okay, and we're gonna write. All right, so let's go to page 84 of your book, The Gingerbread Man. This is a reading part 2. The other day we did part 1, now we do the second part of the story. All right. Okay, let's read this.
There is a fox near the river. I can swim,
Can swim.
says the fox. Sit on my head.
Sit on my head.
The gingerbread man sits on the fox's head. The fox starts to swim.
Swim.
The water is deeper now, says the fox. You must sit on my nose.
Sit on my nose.
The gingerbread man sits on the fox's nose, and the fox opens its mouth and eats him.
Yummy.
There is a fox near the river.
One more time.
I can swim, says the fox. Sit on my head. The gingerbread man
Sits on the fox's head.
The fox starts to swim. The water is deeper now,
Ooh.
says the fox. You must sit on my nose.
Sit on my nose.
The gingerbread man sits on the fox's nose, and the fox opens its mouth and eats him.
All right, let's read together.
There is a fox near the river.
Okay. There is a fox near the river. There is a fox. You know fox, right? Okay. There is a fox near the river. 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 Say, there is a fox near the river. One more time. There is a fox near the river. Okay.
I can swim, says the fox.
I can swim, said the fox. I can swim, says the fox. I can swim, says the fox. I can swim, says the fox. Say, I can swim, says the fox. I can swim, says the fox. One more time. I can swim, says the fox.
Sit on my head.
Sit on my head. Sit now on my head. Sit on my head. Sit on my head. Sit on my head. Sit on my head. One more time. Sit on my head.
The gingerbread man sits on the fox's head.
The gingerbread man sits. The gingerbread man sits. The gingerbread man sits on the fox's head. On the fox's head. On the fox's head. The gingerbread man sits on the fox's head. The gingerbread man sits on the fox's head. The gingerbread man sits on the fox's head. Okay. The gingerbread man sits on the fox's head. The gingerbread man sits on the fox's head. Okay.
The fox starts to swim.
The fox starts to swim. The fox starts to swim. The fox starts to swim. The fox starts to swim. Say, starts to swim. The fox starts to swim. The fox starts to swim. Very good.
The water is deeper now.
The water is deeper now. The water is deeper now. The water is deeper now. Say, the water is deeper now. Again. Water is deeper now. The water is deeper now.
Says the fox.
Says the fox. Says the fox. Say, says the fox. Says the fox. Says the fox. Okay.
You must sit on my nose.
You must sit on my nose. Nose. You must sit on my nose. You must sit on my nose. You must sit on my nose. Say, you must sit on my nose. Again, one more time. You must sit on my nose. Okay.
The gingerbread man sits on the fox's nose.
The gingerbread man sits on the fox's nose. The gingerbread man sits on the fox's nose. The gingerbread man sits on the fox's nose. Say, gingerbread man sits on the fox's nose. One more time. The gingerbread man sits on the fox's nose. Okay.
And the fox opens its mouth.
And the fox opens its mouth. And the fox opens its mouth. And the fox opens its mouth. Say, and the fox opens its mouth. Again. And the fox opens its mouth.
And eats him.
And eats him. Eat. And eats him. And eats him. And eats him. Yummy. And eats him. Say, and eats him. And eats him. Okay. Now take your notebook. We're going to write that down. Okay. There is a fox near the river. Near, okay? Remember, on, under, by or near, okay? In the river, I can swim, says the fox. Sit on my head. The gingerbread man sits on the fox's head. The fox starts to swim, okay? The water is deeper now, said the fox. You must sit on my nose. The gingerbread man sits on the fox's nose. And the fox opens its mouth and eats him. Okay, that's it. So, pause the video, write it very well, and then this is the end of the lesson. Complete. Let's pause. Okay. Okay, so I want you to complete the exercise here, number 4. Number 4, page 84. Yeah. Okay, let's cut that one. Okay, let's back to complete exercise number 4, page 84 of your book, huh? Not of the notebook, not of the workbook, of your book, this one. Okay, so you're gonna do this one, right? So do page 84. Exercise number 4 is a true and false. True and false, alright? Practice reading the story because we're gonna test you guys on the story. Every one of you can read the story, okay? It's a pretty, but you have to practice. If you don't practice, then you cannot be good, okay? Alright? And I want you to wear a mask and wash your hands. Wear a mask, wash your hand, and excuse me. Okay. And bye-bye. See you next time. Study well. Read the story again and again, okay? It's a nice story. Bye-bye. See you next time.